Okay, guys. So today's growth call, we will catch up from last week's call. Can you all hear me okay, by the way? There's a little bit music here, but I hope my headphones will reduce the noise. Is it all good? Okay, perfect. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much. So we will catch up from last week's growth call that we did with Tony Robbins event. Okay, so it was literally so many things, guys. I'm not even like, I don't know, like not even halfway here through this workbook. I have my notes here, guys. So I'm just like in between checking that we are, talking about the things that are necessary to talk about. So who was on last week's growth call and who wants to share something? Actually unmute yourself and share something that you learned on the last week's growth call that you maybe had a breakthrough moment for yourself. Who would like to share something? I want to see if you guys, if you were listening. Who wants to share something? Don't be shy. Guys, I know who was on the call last week. Don't make me choose one. Don't make me choose one, guys. Share something.
Okay, I'll go.
Thank you, Laura. Perfect. I'm gonna add you here. How are you doing, babe?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm a little here and there, but like always.
Miss Superstar, eh? Having your own freaking article in a newspaper, guys. Drop some ones in the chat. Literally, like Laura was interviewed for a really big magazine from her city, guys, and she had a huge article on the title page of the newspaper. Okay, so shout out to her. So proud of you, babe. And yeah, now you can share. Just wanted to shout out.
So basically, the one thing that really stuck in my mind was the fire walk from the Tony Robbins event. And it's just, what we put in our head or what people put in our heads does not determine your reality. It does not have to define who you are or what you think about or what you let like grow in your mind. You can grow what you put in your mind. Like you sow the seed or however you say it. Like whatever people tell you does not define you and does not define your reality. You define yourself, you define your reality, and you define or you choose what you put in your mind and therefore the results, basically.
I love that. Yes. And that was, one of the biggest parts, like from the very first day that was basically talking about the first day and like more than the other days. Obviously, want to take it one step at a time, but this was like the biggest thing for me as well. Like the firewalk was like such an experience in itself. So thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you for volunteering. Anyone else wants to share something? Anyone else? Who was on the call last week? I think Benjamin was on the call last week. Benjamin, you were there on the call last week, right? You here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, okay.
I'm at work, that's why I wasn't responding. But yeah, it's so much. You shared so much knowledge, and I saw, like you told about it on the presentation, I saw his Netflix documentary, and when we watched it, it was like crazy. So we told together with Angela that we really want to be there next year and for sure to see him, because I think if you see him through the screen, he's powerful, but if you see him in real life, he's blowing you away. He's, I don't know, the way he's speaking, even his voice is like superhuman. You don't know why, but when he starts to speak, it's like he has a different frequency of speaking. It's really crazy. I don't know from which planet he's coming, but he's crazy.
That is so funny because You know, there were a couple of people that were literally on the stage, and they were like, "Oh, Tony Robbins sees an alien," because the room was like super cold. It was really, really cold in the room. Like they had like a lot of, you know, freezer, like this air conditioning on. It was super cold. And everyone was like, yeah, Tony likes it that cold because he's an alien. Like this is how he speaks. This is why he's so tall, you know? Like it was super funny. Like everyone talked about that. So super funny that you're mentioning that. But yes, guys, I'm telling you, if you have any chance to like see him in person, like my goal is, thank you so much for sharing, by the way, Benjamin. So basically, it is a huge difference if you see something live. This is why, you know, we're always recommending going to live events here in B. Like this is a necessity, not an option, guys. You should see it something like a business event to like look forward to really work hard for, to go to. Because these events, like the energy that you feel, even with like this event that we just had in Miami here, guys, like Munir flew all the way from Dubai, right? And it is so insane how powerful that is, how you're connecting with everybody and sharing that type of energy is really, really powerful. And it makes, we can, you know, talk about all these things on calls and like we can give you all the knowledge, but in the end, hearing it live in that specific moment, it will always be, you know, super, super different. Oh, we had here somebody, Christy. Hi. She was just joining, guys, actually. She just joined today. She was on the Miami event, but she was obviously on last week's call. So what was that? The power of patterns. Recognize your patterns if you want to change your actions. Also how to use and create your patterns. Tough seasons create strong people. Easy seasons create clueless people. Yes, I love that. Exactly. Thank you so much for sharing this. And you paid really good attention. That's great. And getting a new welcome here. Yes, welcome, Christy, guys. I'm super excited for her. She was actually also with me on the previous platform. So now she's here with me. She's from Miami and was at the event. Or we took a lot of content. She met the team and everyone is like super, super exciting. So what we will talk about today, guys, is basically the human needs, okay? Because we all have the same human needs, okay? We all have basically 2 fears, and we have 6 human needs, and every single person has these human needs. And the only difference in between how we act and how we react to certain things and how we carry ourselves is basically how much value and importance we give to these specific needs. Okay, so the first thing is what stops us. If we question ourselves, what stops us from moving forward? Fear, right? But it's not just only fear in general. Mostly there's just 2 fears that human people, like humanity, has. Okay, the first one is we're not enough, and the second one is we won't be loved. Okay, so with every single one, with everything that you're doing, guys, what you're asking yourself is, for example, when you have the fear of being rejected, right? If you don't want to talk to people, for example, because you have the fear that they will reject you. This comes not from the fear of being rejected. This comes from the feeling of you're not good enough or you won't be loved, right? And sometimes, especially in our childhood, like we want to, you know, like we want to kind of like impress our parents. We want to, depending on how your childhood went, kind of, we have this need stronger, and some people don't have that need. For example, if you received a lot of love from your parents, if they told you all the time, I'm so proud of you, you're doing amazing, right? They encouraged you to do things. You have a different type of fear in that kind of topic than somebody who get constantly told you're nothing, you are not doing enough. Look at your sister, look at all your people around you, and you get compared a lot to maybe your siblings, you get compared to a lot of different people, right? Obviously you carry that need or that fear of not being good enough or not feeling loved. You carry that more than somebody else who got constantly encouraged to do something and constantly got encouraged to, you're good enough, whatever you do, you can achieve anything that you want, right? Because these words that you get taught on a consistent basis, these words matter because they're literally a part of your paradigm. These are a part of your patterns, right? So basically, there are 3 patterns that create any emotion, okay? So first of all, it's a physiology. So what you do with your body. because emotion, like your emotion creates motion, right? And whatever you're feeling, you're expressing that, and this is also what you will attract, right? Like if there's a person, for example, you see them walking on the street and you're there, or if you just think about yourself right now, how do you walk, how you're acting with your body when you're feeling sad, and practice that right now. Literally, like when you're sitting here somewhere on the call, or when you're standing right now, have like that posture when you're feeling really sad. You wouldn't sit like this. You wouldn't be like excited. You would sit like this. Your shoulders are down, right? Maybe your head is like towards, the floor. You're looking downwards. You're like inwards yourself, right? This is where we look for like the fear, where we look for like sadness or worry. It's always inwards. We're always expressing our emotions, or sad emotions or worrying emotion. We express them inwards, right? So when we're, for example, when we're happy, when we're excited, how do you walk then? You're like have posture, right? You have posture. You're excited, like your head is up, like your chin is up. You're looking up, right? You're maybe doing something, like some movements, like with your hands or with your, like you're super excited, right? And these expressions, this movement, you express that outwards. And the funny thing is that whenever we are happy, we want to share that with other people. And guess what happens when we share something with other people, like good emotions? For example, you received a good grade in school. What are you doing? You want to share that with your parents. You want to share that with your friends, right? Because what makes everything like happiness more powerful is actually sharing that with other people, right? It doubles the energy, doubles the emotions, kind of. So everything that we express to yourself is a really huge part of, like our feelings and our body language. Okay, so that is the first one, patterns. And the cool thing is that even with our body, we can change our expressions, we can change our feelings. So for example, if you're feeling, like maybe a little bit, down, whatever you're feeling, like, oh, you didn't have a good day, maybe. If you just right now, really sit yourself up and strengthen your body, sit there with posture, like not like this on a call, like, guys, okay, let's get up, okay, we have energy, okay? If you sit like this, okay, make sure to sit like this right now and see how directly your feelings shift. Drop a one in the chat if you're actually feeling that right now. If you felt the shift by just changing your body language. I can literally feel that right now. I was like sitting like this, but it always gets better, right? Like sit yourself up, right? And you can change that state of mind by just changing your body language. It's super powerful. And now do the opposite. Like if you would be sad right now, like practice that right now. If you're feeling like you're sad, regarding your emotions in words, how does that feel? You don't feel powerful in that moment. You don't feel like strong and, fearless in that moment. You don't feel like you have a lot of energy, right? And think about that. And make it a daily habit to control your body with your body language, right? For example, once you do a call, when you do the next call, how are you doing the call? Are you sitting there like, oh my God, I'm so afraid of rejection. Oh my God, I don't know if they like the business. I don't know. What if they reject me? What will they tell me? Why will they laugh about me? Or are you standing up? You're maybe, clapping in your hands. Okay, I'm going to do this freaking call right now. You're calling them, being super excited. You're putting your emotions outwards. And people feel that energy, right? There's a huge difference. So you can literally change this pattern of how you feel, how you act with just your body language. Okay, and with that, you're also shifting your focus and you're shifting your beliefs. And we already learned on the last call that whatever you focus on, you're going to believe. Okay, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, right? Either way you think you can do something or you can't do something, both ways you're right. Okay, so whatever you focus on equals your reality. Okay, you create your reality with your focus, with your beliefs that you have. Okay, and also the language that you use and the meaning you create to certain things. Okay, so for example, the language that you use, how you're carrying yourself, how you're talking to yourself, how you talk about certain things. Are you always complaining? Are you somebody that be like, oh, I don't like the weather, and the food, like in this restaurant, the food really wasn't that good. Like this was, like I don't know, the tea wasn't as hot, and even if the coffee was too hot, I burnt my tongue, like, oh, you know, like the way you talk about certain things, even if it's just the smallest things, this is how you carry yourself. The more you talk in a negative way about like just the smallest ways, or you just like going to like forget about it. If you didn't like the coffee, or it was too cold, too hot, whatsoever, you just like, you know, whatever, it was not good a coffee. Next time I get better. I'm gonna go to a different restaurant, I'm gonna go to a different coffee shop, right? It is just all about these small things that you add up. Once you like, you can literally train yourself to be a complaining person, or you can train yourself to be a solution orientated and happy person, no matter the circumstances. You know, these people that sometimes like everything seems to go wrong in their lives, but they still keep on having that good attitude. They still keep on, you know, like being like, hey, you know what, fuck it, like, I don't know, you know, what's going on in my life, but you know, we're gonna figure it out. This is me, for example. Like sometimes when like negative things are happening, I'm just laughing about it. I'm like, okay, perfect, what's next? What's next? Thank God, another challenge, another way to grow myself, right? So how you carry yourself, your attitude, what you give meaning to, your language, how, what kind of words you choose. It's like a lot of negative words or a lot of positive words, it's making a huge difference. And this is also how you can shift the focus, right? So if you want to change your patterns, change the focus, change your language, change the meaning you give to things, okay? We don't need to sometimes complain about the smallest things that we cannot change, right? It's no sense, literally no sense to complain about the bad weather. Make more money so you can travel the world. No, but guys, really, you know, you don't need to give so many like negative energy towards things that you cannot change sometimes, right? It doesn't make sense. Okay, so now we will talk about the 6 human needs. What do you think these needs are? Drop some suggestions in the chat. What do you think is something that you really need? Air. Yes, we need air. We need air to breathe, for sure. Food, okay. But this is more about not like the needs in a way of like how to survive, but like the way like in the way of like emotional needs. Let's say emotional needs. Love, that's a good one. Yes. Support, socializing, belonging. That's a good one. Yes. What else do you think? Goals. Okay. Yes. Happiness. Money. Esteem. Peace. Respect. Yes. Self-improvement. Yes. You can say that was like growth, right? That's a really good one. Fulfillment. Yes. Perfect. Okay, guys. So I want you to write it down. Okay. Please have your notes out. So we have 4 primal needs. Okay. 4 primal needs. And then there's 2 spiritual needs. The 4 primal needs, the first one is certainty. So everybody wants stability in their lives, right? The basic necessities, food, comfort, light, home, shelter, resources, money, right? And when people cannot control their physical circumstances, guys, they may seek certainty through another state of mind. For example, religion, a positive outlook, positive attitude, right? So sometimes we tend to like these human needs, all of them, like we need to fulfill all of those needs. But as I already said in the beginning, we all give different types of values to these human needs. So while we're going through these needs, figure out for yourself, what do you think is your most important primary need? Okay, we will do an exercise later on with that as well. So the first one is certainty. Certainty, just as I said, stability, comfort, food, home, right? The second need, and this was actually surprising me, was uncertainty. So this is a second human need, primary need, uncertainty. People have a need to change their state, to exercise, your body, emotions, like a seek for change, basically, a seek for variety, variety. Oh my God, I can't speak that word. What the hell? Like, you know, like changing, okay? A seek for change, like whether if it's physical activity, mood swings, entertainment, food, like obviously if you, for example, certainty, right? You want food, you need food as a human being, right? But at the same point, what is your favorite food? You love pizza, you love pasta, do you eat that every single day? You want to eat that every single day? No, right? So you want to have uncertainty, you want to have, you know, like adventure, you're seeking for, you know, like changes in your daily life, because otherwise it gets boring. So we have that human needs for uncertainty and certainty, so it's in contrast, right? So whether you are more attracted to uncertainty or certainty, it all depends on, you know, your past. Okay, we will talk about that later. So the third human need, primal need, is significance. Okay, everybody wants and needs to feel special. You want to feel important to somebody else's life, your parents, your friends, your family, your relationship, right? You want to feel special. You want to feel that people respect you. You want to feel you seek significance through obtaining recognition from others and also for yourself, right? You want to prove yourself to others, okay? And when people feel insignificant, they make themselves feel significant by certain actions. Some people, for example, they want to feel significant, and this is why they always are very outgoing, they're very loud, they're very bold. They some people even get angry. Some people, they even like start to destroy things to feel significant, because this is their only way of expressing that need, because they don't get it in any other way. So this is why they do certain things in order to feel significant, because they get attention, right? So or talking about problems all the time. Some people, they wanna have that feeling that people listen to them, that people even like that people worry about them. So therefore people always start like sometimes to talk about their problems, like, oh my God, I feel so sad, I feel so bad today, I have such a headache, or, you know, like talking constantly on a constant basis all the time about these negative things in order to feel significant, because they feel that people worry about them. So maybe in their past they had maybe parents or like a family that was not really caring so much for them, and that now they feel like they have to come up and fill that need with getting that attention and that love that they're actually seeking for somewhere else. Does that make sense to you? You guys with me? It's really psychology here, you know. So so you might even feel attacked. You might even feel attacked on this call and be like, whoa, it's not me. But guys, I'm telling you, yes. And it's nothing wrong with that. I want you to realize that there's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with the patterns. We can fix the patterns, right? We already know that. So for now, in order to really truly understand yourself and set yourself free, we need to be vulnerable and truthful to ourselves and admit that what are our needs and where does that come from? We need to get like back in the past. For me, for example, I can honestly say that I wanted to feel significant. Like that was one of my primary needs. And I was like, what, really? Because I actually am seeking for something completely different. But sometimes when we're seeking for something completely different, but we don't know how to get there, we kind of manipulate ourselves. We kind of self-sabotage ourselves in that way of trying to get around that actual need that we want to create, and doing something completely different that actually doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really confusing sometimes, but I hope you guys get me. So the fourth primary need is love and connection. Humans need to feel connected with someone or something, a purpose, a goal, other people, feelings, energy, right? And an ideal, values, habits, a sense of identity. Okay, connection may take the form of love, may be created by a sense of belonging, a spiritual sense. People can fulfill their need for connection, love in positive or negative ways. So every single one of these primal needs that I just listed, you can fulfill these needs in either positive ways or negative ways. Okay, We'll talk about that later a little bit more. But yeah, like love and connection is also one of the, you know, most basic needs basically that everyone is striving for. And either you feel, for example, let's give you guys an example for love and connection. Let's say you want to feel love. You want to feel that you belong to somebody, that you feel safe, right? Also certainty is in that same kind of environment. So this is how you see, we always usually focus on two of these needs. We focus on the most, okay? So for example, some people, they want to feel love, they want to feel connection. What do? They put themselves in relationships. They want from relationship to relationship. They want to have a lot of friends because they want to feel connected. They want to feel like they belong to somebody. And a lot of people, they, you know, even stay in toxic relationship, for example, because they want to feel that love and connection, but it's obviously a negative way. Some people even force relationships. They don't like breaking up with people because they feel like they have a loss of love. They feel like they have a loss of connection if they would do that. So they rather stay in that toxic relationship where they maybe, you know, get beat up or get, you know, have a lot of like negative self-talk from that other person. They tear them down whatsoever, but just because they have such a crazy need of that love and that connection that they won't break up with that certain person, that they literally forced to stay in that relationship just because they really need to feel that love and connection. Understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of psychology. Okay, so the four spiritual needs, we have growth, just as you guys already mentioned. We have growth, so everything is either growing or dying. We already know that, right? And we as human people, we have the tendency to, we need to grow. We need to get further in life, right? If we're not actually consistently growing on a consistent basis every single day, or like that we see that change happening, we won't be fulfilled. But growth is a spiritual need, okay? And then we also have, just as more already said, we have contribution. We all have a deep need to go beyond ourselves. As we already said on the last call, a lot of people, they do more for other people than they would do for themselves, right? And this is actually one of the needs that is a really good need, because it's going to give you more love and more connection, for example, more certainty, because you put a purpose behind everything that you're doing, but on a basis that is intentional and not intentional, that is genuine, because you genuinely love giving to people. You genuinely love helping people. So contributions and growth are the most spiritual needs that human people need to have. And sometimes they would kind of fake these needs with their other primary needs. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If anything is unclear, guys, please put it in the chat. So now, if you don't have any questions, guys, let me just. So now that we talked about these human needs, and I hope that you all wrote them down, I want you to think about what are the ways that you get certainty or uncertainty, variety in your life, in a positive way and in a negative way. For me, for example, just to give you guys some examples, because I already went through that, so you might not have an idea what to exactly write down. So I will just share that with you, what I wrote down. For me, positively to gain certainty, stability in my life, I practice gratitude, right? I practice gratitude because when I practice gratitude, I feel certain. I feel that everything is fine in my life. I feel very stable. I feel comfortable. I feel happy. I feel grateful, right? So this is a really powerful, gratitude is a really powerful feeling in order for you to feel like you're certain in your life. You're going somewhere, right? Another way to gain certainty in my life is to eat clean, personal development. That's also contributing to growth, right? So sometimes you kind of mix it up with the ways that how you get your personal needs, how you fulfill your personal needs. And a negative way, for example, to gain certainty is to try to do all by myself. Who is somebody like that? You try to do all by yourself. You're like, oh my God, like if I want this perfect, if I want this to be certain, if I want to, you know, make everything like perfect, I need to do all by myself. Nobody can do this. Nobody can do this for me. Nobody does it as perfect as I do. So let me just do it by myself. But then in the other way around, we're like, oh my God, I have to do everything by myself. Nobody's helping me. So you feel uncertain. So you confuse these both needs by trying to fulfill one need. You confuse it with the other need. You know what I'm saying? Guys, we're so complex creatures, right? But the same way, it's like super easy, because once we understand these things, we can, you know, work on ourselves and practice how we go past these patterns, how we utilize these patterns and recreate new patterns. Okay, so ask yourself, what are ways that you positively, negatively gain certainty in your life? Okay, write it down. If you want to share something, share it here in the chat. Then how do you gain certainty? Give respect to gain respect. Yes, certainty when I allow people to put me down. So I'm understanding. Yes, yes, that's right. Okay, so uncertainty, for example, I like to do things outside my comfort zone. I purposely stretch myself and put myself in positions where I don't know what will happen next, even though it makes me feel a little bit yeah, like a little bit scary, kind of. But I like that feeling because I like adventure, right? I have a crazy feeling, a crazy need for uncertainty in the way of that I like adventure, that I love going to different places. This is why you see me travel all the time, right? No, not anxious, not in a bad way. I like the feeling of adventure. I like the feeling of new, of experiencing things. So for me, for example, to create that feeling of positive uncertainty in my life, I like traveling a lot. I like putting myself out of my comfort zone. I like challenging myself, which is a good thing because it also it also goes to the feeling of growth, right? You're challenging yourself, and this is how you grow. So a negative thing for me, for example, to create uncertainty is for my past, for example, I used to spend my money on unnecessary things and just be like, you know what, screw it, you know, I'm just gonna spend that money right now, even if I don't have it. And it kind of like, I don't know, it tickled me, you know, like being like, oh, I'm spending that money right now. I know I shouldn't do that, but you know, like it's that uncertainty that you're striving for, that you know want to kind of create because you want to struggle, like you want to challenge yourself. But it's obviously a negative way because you're spending money on things that you don't even have, like you're spending money that you don't have on things that you don't even need or want, in order maybe to spend that money on things that you don't even need to impress people that you don't even like because you want to feel significant. You know what I'm saying? All these needs, they like play with each other. Okay, more certainty. Positive, working out, having routine. Negative, do the same thing over and over again. Yes, okay. Uncertainty, yeah, negative. That's a really good thing that you're saying that. Do the same thing over and over again. Sometimes we do know that some things are not working for us, but because we are so in that need of certainty in our lives, we tend to not do things differently because we need to have that certainty in our life. But obviously constantly doing, you know, the wrong thing, it's not effective. We're not going anywhere. We're not actually, you know, playing into our growth part. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was a really good point. Uncertainty, positive, coach kids in sport, learn new things, extreme sports. Okay, negative, fight with people when it's not needed. See, that's good. That's really good that you get that you like realize that for yourself, right? Because that fight with people when it's not needed, it kind of, you know, tickles you a little bit. Sometimes, you know, that feeling when you're, you know, like when you're arguing with somebody, you know exactly you shouldn't say that, and you say it either way, because you have that need of uncertainty in your life, that need of change, right? And yeah, Geraldine, that hit that hit me too. And I was like, literally like okay, so what are the ways of you getting significance, positive and negative way? That's a huge part of thinking about social media right now, because social media is literally one of the platforms that make people have a stronger desire for the feeling of significance. right? When you see like all these people, they feel like they have everything, you want to show off. It's one of my needs, honestly, to be honest with you guys. I had always the need, like the need of like proving myself, because I had the feeling that I just wanted to feel love and connection. But because my father used to like always talk me down, and so I felt not significant. So now I'm trying to get that love and connection by trying to feel significant for other people, get the appreciation, you know, like people admiring me maybe over my social media, for example. That I just do certain things not because I want them to share them, but because I want to feel significant. But actually, in truth, I just want to feel loved and connected. You know how you're sometimes working around the things that you actually want by trying something else, manipulating yourself, self-sabotaging your way to get where you actually want to be, but you're not really getting there. Because if you just want to feel significant all the time, you're trying to act a certain way, and you're not even being true to yourself. You're trying to act, trying to please others, right? So for me, for example, in order to feel significant, what I did in my past is that I tried to be a people pleaser. I tried to make everybody else around me happy while I was not even happy doing that. So do you have that feeling that you know, try to make everything the right way, but not for yourself, but for others? Then you want to feel significant. You know what I mean? Say yes to everything. Yeah, exactly. Being a yes sayer. Yes, that's true. That was me as well. So a positive way, for example, that what did I write down here? A positive way, for example, I would say is my coaching calls, because I like doing these calls, not just only for significance, but also for contribution. So with that, I'm getting more out there in the way of, you know, contributing myself, like doing something good. But in the beginning, I really got to be honest with you, I was doing the calls more so for myself to be seen. And then I kind of like shifted that to something more positive and to like being more contributional with what I'm doing, right? So just to give you guys an example, something negative would be, you know, I don't know, like doing something on purpose where I actually know like that it impresses others, right? Filters on Instagram. I'm really big on that. Filters on Instagram. Want to make you feel significant, you know? Or sometimes I just ignore people. I love just to feel significant. I'm so grateful. I realize this can now also feel significant. I have a connection with them. Yes, exactly. So now you're actually what you're seeking for is love and connection. But sometimes because we have the fear of not feeling good enough and the fear of not being loved, we try to act significant to get to love and connection. Does that make sense? We're tricking ourselves. So that's a really good point. I love you, super active here. I love that. So then list the ways of you getting love and connection, positive and negative. So positive for me would be, for example, like, you know, I want to help people. I want to do things. I want to talk to people, get involved with things, be there for other people. Even affirmations, because self-love is also a huge part of it. Negative would be, for example, I sometimes try to like push people away because I don't want to lose love and connection, but pushing people away so that I actually feel significant, because if they come back, I realize that they would really love me instead of just leaving me, even if I was the one pushing them away. You know what I'm saying? This is like so tricky, guys. A lot of self-sabotaging. And I hope you're with me on that page, because it's a lot of things to realize. And I know we're just like having a limited amount of time here. So this is like the human needs is like the most that we're probably talking about today. So there's not so much more to come, because this is like really, you know, challenging your mind right now. And I really want you to take that as a homework to really think about these human needs that you have and really fulfill that list for yourself. Because in order to, you know, get to where you want to be and close the gap and creating new patterns, we need to understand what kind of old patterns are holding us back, right? Yes, thank you. So that was, for example, one negative way. Okay, then social media, like in that way of yeah, like just posting a lot and just being really, really active. Of course, they're really, really active, right? But you know, you got to understand that there's different ways to fulfill these needs, and sometimes social media can get a little bit toxic. So we need to find the good balance in order to actually feel love and contribution in a way that it's healthy and not unhealthy. Okay. So anyone wants to share something of the love and contribution part, connection and love part? So a negative way, and that's also something I wrote down, a negative way of getting connection and love is to actually avoid to talk about my feelings. Isn't that funny? Because love and connection is all about feelings, but I avoid to talk about that because I want to keep the love, and I don't want to make things complicated, because when I think that I, you know, open myself up and talk about the things that are bothering me or that I'm feeling, that people might leave me. So feeling the fear of not being good enough and not being loved. You see what I'm saying? All these fears and the needs, they're, you know, working together. So, and now I want you guys to write down in the chat, which of these 6 human needs, which one do you value the most? Also now, or was that in your past? Which one did you value the most in your past? For me, it was significance and certainty. Significance, okay. And the second one, Geraldine? And the funny thing is, guys, we were doing this exercise, right? So we should all write it down at Tony Robbins, and then later on we should like stand up for these needs. And most of the people actually had significance. Most of the people had significance and certainty, which is funny because most of the people actually what they wanted was like growth and contribution, or love and connection and growth and contribution. Isn't that funny? That most of the people, they value significance more when the actual thing that they really want is love and connection, for example. It's kind of crazy, right? Just to realize that, like my mind was blown, guys, I'm telling you. So now once you you know, write down the same significance and certainty, because I didn't know myself, I was looking for who I was in other people. Yes, that's huge. I became like them so that I could feel significant when they were saying, oh my god, damn, love that. Yes, isn't that crazy, guys? And how many people feel like that, right? But congratulations, we're one more step closer to our new patterns, guys. Really proud of you, Laura. Thank you so much for sharing this. Really important to admit these things and be truthful to yourself. Okay, so this is a safe place. We all can share that. If you don't want to, if you want to have it on your paper, that's fine too. Okay, you don't need to. But honestly, the more you like share that with other people, the more you're able to admit that, the more you can let go of it. You ever had that feeling of when you're talking about something, you just, you know, just lift your soul up and you're just like, oh, I have that from my chest. It's the same kind of, yeah, it's the same kind of feeling. Okay. So maybe you can share that with somebody if you want to, okay? So now think about what are the consequences of valuing those needs in that order. So what were the consequences in your past, okay? So for me, significant certainty. I always tried to be perfect, better than others. It was not predictable, and it was very overwhelming. I procrastinated a lot, actually, because I stopped doing things because I just tried to be so perfect that I never actually started to do things, right? So it cost me to do a lot of things, or to do not do a lot of things that I actually wanted to do, because I felt like, oh, it's not perfect. I'm not going to be better than others. For example, I always wanted to have a singing career when I was younger. Like I did, you know, I was taking singing classes, and really, really funny. Because a lot of people, they told me, oh, you have a really good voice. You should, you know, you should go and sing in front of other people. So funny thing was, a lot of people complimented me for my singing voice, but I was always trying to reach out to my mom, who never ever complimented my singing voice. And when I was singing in front of other people, and everyone was like, wow, that's amazing, that's so great. And my mom, I don't know why, she was never telling me. I was like, Mom, how did you like it? How did you like it? Wanting to feel significant, wanting to feel love and connection. But in some way, and she also, you have to admit that, you have to like think about it, she also has her patterns, why she can't do things or why she doesn't do things, whatever. So she was never able to give that to me. After you sing one day, we'll see. When I'm breaking my patterns. Yes, the next call we have a singing call. You want that? When my voice is not like done, okay? But yes, that was one. I'm just sharing that story right now, guys. So for me, it was always looking for that significant from my mom. Like I wanted to feel special. You know, like I wanted to do more and be better, because I wanted to feel that love from her. So it's actually not about so much about the significance, but about feeling like love and being like my mom being proud, and you know, feeling that love and connection from her, right? So I lost a lot of opportunities, because literally, even when other people were telling me, oh my God, I love your singing voice, just because my mom didn't like tell me that, I stopped myself so much from doing, or like, you know, going up on stages whatsoever, because I thought, oh, you know, if I would have a good singing voice, my mom would like tell me. Maybe she's not telling me because she wants to protect me, and I actually don't even have a good singing voice. I don't know, you know. So that was like kind of the way, the train of thought that I had. Okay, so it caused me to not do a lot of things that I actually wanted to do, because one of the main valuing needs that I had was significance. Okay, so I lost myself in the process to keep love from other people, because I became a people pleaser. Okay, so something similar that Laura said. Okay, trying to look for my happiness in others, trying to get into relationships because I wanted to feel the love. Right, I was staying in toxic relationships. So that example that I gave, that was literally me. I was staying in toxic relationship, even though I knew it would not go to work out, because I was looking and searching for that love and connection. Okay, so that is what's causing you all these things. Okay, so you see, you have to think about, if you keep on continuing fulfilling these primary needs, where will this will take you? Think about that. How many missing opportunities, how many self-doubts, how many hours, days, months, years you're not fully truly yourself, because you're looking for something else in others, right? Are we? Yeah, we're gonna sorry guys. I take this. Okay, all of it. Yeah, yes, all of it. You're not gonna pay, I'm gonna pay. You want to fight with me? I'm in the call, so I can't fight right now. Sorry guys. Like literally fighting for the bill right now. Is this mine now? Oh, continue your call. Yeah, Algerians and Germans. Perfect. So okay, gonna continue. What are your top 2 needs that you want to have in the future, guys? Okay, connection, love, growth, and contribution. Most people will do that, because that's actually like the spiritual nature. This is actually what we're seeking for. So ask yourself, if you would make that change, what would transform in your life, right? So maybe you would be able to focus more on others, like shifting that focus from yourself, but more onto others, but into the growing part and contributing part, being able to give more. And in the same way, when you're giving more, you're also receiving more. but you're in a different type of energy because it's actually genuine, you know, being more understanding, having more control over your life. So actually fulfilling that certainty, but in a healthy, positive way, freedom, right? Think about how would that transform your life? Okay. So what else? So now let's break through the fear. Okay, this is the next part, the last part that we are going to do because they're closing here. Breaking through the fear. So what belief, what emotion is currently limiting you? What is in your way of getting you to the next level? Write down 3 limiting beliefs. Okay. What do you want to break through? How would you like to feel? Want to feel more powerful, more in control? You want to feel more happy, loving yourself more, right? You want to be unstoppable. Write these feelings down, these emotions, okay? So now, because this feeling of you being fully yourself, fully like in your peak state, you need to get yourself into peak state. And we talked about this before, right? You can literally change your body language. You can say you can tell yourself like different words, right? It's literally like practicing you know, a whole different type of body language that you speak to yourself, how you carry yourself, what you feel, how you act. So there are certain strategies that you can do. You can literally just like stand up, you know, in front of the mirror. You can have deep breaths, okay, like 3 to 5 very deep breaths that you're, you know, really, really getting that oxygen in your body, that you're feeling the energy in your middle of your stomach, in your chest, like literally going through your whole entire body, lifting yourself up, and then talking to yourself words of empowerment. Okay. And telling yourself what you actually want. I want to grow. I want to give. List all your goals that you have. I am so happy and grateful now that and then tell yourself all these things. This is how you get yourself in the peak state. Get excited. Even shout. You can even start laughing, guys, because the funny thing is that was an exercise. We had to start laughing like out of nowhere. It was like super awkward and everyone's like, you know, but then we actually started laughing because it was so funny because everyone was feeling weird. But then it turns into an actual laughter. And this whole room of 10,000 people were laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. We couldn't even stop anymore. So this feeling, how you trick your mind, how you change your current state of being, you can like literally trick yourself into doing that. Start laughing, snap out of it, right? If you're feeling down, be like, hey, you want to choose to be there? You want to choose to be there, or you want to choose to get up and go out of yourself, right? So yes, demand your body and your mind to get into a certain state. We call this state, we call it peak state. Okay, your peak state. Okay, this is the best state you want to be in. Act that way. Stand yourself up, like your feet on the ground, like not, you know, like inwards yourself, with your emotions, but like outwards, right? Stand tall, lift up your shoulders, lift up your chin, look up, right? And tell yourself these words of encouragement that you need to hear, that you want to hear. I don't want to feel significant. I want to feel love. I want to feel connection. I want to give, right? Whatever you want to choose, whatever you want to do, tell yourself that in that specific moment and practice that. This is your homework, okay? Practice that for yourself. Do that in front of the mirror, guys. And I'm telling you, even if it might feel weird, do that because you will feel a difference, okay? All the things that you learn here on these calls, it's all about, you know, like all the knowledge that you get means nothing if you're not applying it. And even if it feels stupid in the beginning, it's up to you if you choose to stay in that, you know, negative state of mind, or if you practice, you choose to practice, you choose to be in a positive state. And one really, really powerful tool that you can do right away to start your morning really good, guys, is priming. Priming. Okay, I'm gonna write this down here in the chat. Put it on YouTube, Tony Robbins priming. I'm telling you, if you do this every single morning for the next 21 to 30 days, Tell me that something is not changing in your life. I doubt it. No, I don't like doubting you guys, but I doubt it. Okay, so do that priming exercise. And for everyone who was here on this call, I want you guys to do that tomorrow morning. The first thing you do is the priming exercise, 10 minutes. If you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life, right? So everybody has 10 minutes in their day to wake up, to prime yourself for success of the day. Yes, okay, perfect. I already dropped it, but let's drop it again. And I want you guys to all do the priming tomorrow morning and share your experience in the chat. And imagine if you would do this for the next 21 to 30 days. Let's start a challenge. Let's start a challenge that we all prime ourselves for success the next days, next 21 to 30 days, okay? So guys, that was a very psychological call. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you realized a lot of things about yourself. And I hope you keep on growing. I hope you keep on learning about yourself. Ask yourself, like, practice these things again. What are your positive ways, your negative ways? What did it cost you? And what do you need to change in order to get to your new way of being? Okay. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being on the call. Appreciate every single one of you. And I see you guys in the chat. Whatever you need, I'm here for you guys. Just reach out to me. Okay. Bye, guys.